Video of how to start your Winnie the Pooh practice grid drawing. So the first thing we're going to do is number our grids. So we're going to number across 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we're going to do down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to do the same thing to the large grid. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So now the second thing I like to do is I like to shade in all of the squares on both the small and the large that I do not have to draw anything in. So if we come down, here's our first one. So there's no lines of Winnie the Pooh in there. So I'm going to kind of shade that in. Same with this. Come down. This one. Nope, don't need to draw anything in here. Here, yep. So I don't want to shade that up. Even this little guy has a little piece of his belly. So I'm going to keep that. So then I'm going to come over to my big grid and I'm going to come on and do 4 and 5 in column 1. I'm going to do column 1, row 1, column 4, this here, and then the last square in the grid. So now I'm ready to start drawing. I'm going to start up with number 1, put my viewfinder down, and I'm going to use all of the areas around this grid to figure out how to draw this. Now this is his ear. It's not taking up a lot of that square. There's a lot of what we'd call negative space, the space around the ear. And we can look here, if this is center, go to the right, that's where it's going to enter. And if we come down here, if that's center, it's right down here. So I can come over here and kind of on the big square and make maybe some guidelines, dots, to help me make this nice little curve for the top of his ear. Then I'm going to move my square, my viewfinder to the next square, and I'm actually going to move this down, and this little part of the head goes from the corner to all the way around here, and it kind of goes up almost to the center and down. Then we have his little round ear that takes up some space up top. Then I see an eyebrow that's right under the ear, and this eyebrow comes into the square here. Then it looks like part of his eye. And this little oval takes up and touches this line and then comes down. Now I'm going to move to the next one. So now we have a little bit more part of that eye kind of flares into the next square. This is kind of like a nice, it's like a little squiggle, like the letter S. And it's making his cheek. So this is almost to the center. This is center. It's a little to the left. Up, then that's shaded. Now, before I move on, I'm going to do a time lapse to show you this. I'm going to do part that's a little bit more complicated to show you how you can break down these areas so it's not as complicated. So it's just lines. So we see here we have the kind of the cuff of his shirt, and that's going to go from little above center and to the left. So I'm going to, and it's down here, I'm on 2, 3, I'm lower. So I'm going to start, and this comes from here to about here. So I'm going to do this nice kind of curve. Then there's a line coming through there. Then we have straight line, and then it looks like a diagonal, and a diagonal off of that. Then, so if that's center, it's a little bit to the right. It curves and goes to that dot. And then full diagonal line down. Here, this goes from the right line to the top line. Looks like there's 2 of them, maybe a little diagonal off of that. So that's it. So and you're going to go square by square, going nice. Column 1 to continue if I needed to. So I need to come around, just doing what's in that square. That's center. It's a little to the left. Just kind of skims. It ends on the side line right there. So you can watch the time lapse to see how I complete this going grid for grid.